Hello my friends, hope you're doing great today. So in this video I'm going to talk about the key metrics to track when analyzing Facebook ads in 2025 and beyond. And why this is important is because I know there are many people today who are probably running Facebook ads, and it's important because what you don't track, you can't tell what happens. So it's just so important to make sure that you actually track your metrics and you're tracking it well. And if you track the right stuff, then basically it's easy for you to know where to improve. And success number one is in the data and the metrics. So let's look at the things to track. So I'm going to go to my ad account here. Okay, so I'm going to go to Facebook here, and what you need to do is go to business.facebook.com, just in case. You should go to all tools. Then today they call it adverts manager. Previously it used to be called ads manager. It's now called adverts manager, and that should open a new tab. Okay, so how this works is that for you to get access to see the different ads, you have to go to ads level. Okay, I think that's important to mention. So you have to go to ad account level. That's what I mean, ad account level. So I've got different campaigns here that some most of them are not even running at the moment. But let me just show you how you can change the different accounts. And as you can see here, at the top here, as you can see, there are campaigns. Then I think it's good to pop up at this point here, where you can choose the ad account that you want to look at. So basically, when you're running ads, the ads that are run on different ad accounts. Okay, so we encourage people to have multiple ad accounts. Why is that important? Because anything can happen with Facebook and they can shut down your one account. So if you only have got one ad account and something happens to that one ad account, that means that you're doomed. Like there's nothing else you can do. But if you have like several ad accounts and something happens to one ad account, you can always pick another ad account and continue running your business. So if possible, actually create two business accounts, and the business accounts have several ad accounts. So I could click here and I could swap. Okay, so as you can see, you've got quite a number. So normally you can have around 10 under your own one Facebook account, but there's a strategy that you use, or you can even have around 30 of them. But for now, I think let me go ahead and show you to track. So this campaign are not even running. As you can see, most of them are in draft mode, but there are some that have been, let me see, there are some that have run. So I can see account error, and anyway, let me just show you how this looks like. Okay, so I'll move this one here. So of course, at this point, I'm not showing you how to create. I'm just trying to show you how to track the metrics. So basically, as you can see at the beginning here, it's on and off. So this shows that the campaigns are either off or on. Okay, so it's when your campaign is off, but one ad set are off. So basically, it could show that this, if we see this blur, it means that ad is not running. Okay, so let me go down further here. So you can see these ones are completely off. So this means they were turned off. But let's see. So basically, when you look at delivery at this point, so basically this is on and off. Now, when we talk about campaigns at this point, so here you can see basically when you create ads, I give them names, and the reason I give them names is so that I don't confuse. Because, for example, I may be running different ads at different times for different people, so I'll basically give it a name so that I don't confuse what I'm looking at and which ad was running at what point. So that is the reason why I make sure that all my ads have a name. And so I would encourage you to do the same. Your campaign, you should give it a name. So basically, there are like 3 levels of when it comes to creating ads. So there's the campaign, then there's the ad set, and then there's the ad, and then you get an opportunity to name each of them, and that helps you to track. Now basically when you come to the delivery level here, you want to see you know, is it active, is it pending, is it, so this is basically has to do with Facebook. So Facebook is once you launch the campaign, at this point is where you see if the campaign is active. So for example, active means that Facebook has allowed the campaign to run, and your budget is okay, your payment, everything is okay, so the campaign can now run at that point. Okay, now bid strategy, this has to do with the way you want, or maybe the way that Meta you know, decides who sees your ad. Maybe that is not like, that doesn't come out well. They like explaining this is for example, when you are going for an audience, or for the people to see your ad, there are other people who want to show their adverts to the same people who are in the same industry as you, probably different industries. So the highest bidder is the one who gets the audience. Okay, so and that's why I tell people, when you are running a campaign, don't choose a big population like 5 million people, and then you have a budget of like $1 or $2 or $3. You won't get good results. So for example, if you've got a budget of around $5, what you should do, you should narrow your audience to around 500 people, 500,000 people. I mean 500,000 people, because now that is a good number, and you get a better chance to bid for that audience. But if you are targeting like 10 million people, 3 million people, and you're spending little money, I don't think you'll get the best results. That's my observation. Okay. So of course, there's several ways you can bid this. This will display either as the lowest cost, cap, bid cap, target cost, highest value or minimum return, ROS. Okay, depending on your cost and ROS control selection. So basically, you can do all those controls and select what you really want to do with that. But for me, the most important is that making sure that your budget, whether you want to cap the maximum that you can spend, for whether for impression or for a click, okay, or the highest cost that you want to reach, or the lowest cost you want to reach. Just make sure that, as a rule of thumb, you don't want to sweat it, but as a rule of thumb, you want to make sure that the people that you have chosen, the audience that you have chosen, is relevant to, it's close to your budget. That helps you to get better chances of your stuff being seen. Okay. Now remember, earlier I mentioned about campaign, ad sets, and ads level. So basically, at this campaign level here is where this is the highest level of your marketing. So for example, you want to run a campaign to get leads, or you want to do a post to get leads. So basically, that's what you call a campaign. But then ad set at this level here is the level where you decide who is going to see the ad. Okay, the audience. Okay, so you decide that. Then at level here is where you can actually have, because for you to run a successful campaign, you don't run a single ad. Most people will run multiple ads, because the idea is that you're not sure what people are going to like at the end of the day, so you test it before you launch. So you don't assume that because you've got an image or video, that's what people are going to like. So we launch multiple, and that's what we call split testing. So as you're testing, basically you can tell this is what people are liking, this is what people are liking, and then you can run with it with that. So yeah, those are just important stuff too. Okay, so I've talked about the budget, I've talked about bid strategy. So let me talk about the budget here. So as you can see, we've spent different amounts here. So 900, and 3, and all right. So let me just pick that as an example. So when you talk of the budget here, basically what you mean is that there are two ways you can set your budget, and this comes with when you're setting up the ad. So you can say that in a day I want to spend this amount. Okay, so you can say that in a day I'm going to spend like $1,000, or in a day I'm going to spend $100. Okay, and then or you can say that I want to set up a campaign for the entire period. So this is the maximum amount that you're willing to spend on your ad set or your campaign, on average each day or over the lifetime of your scheduled and ad sets or campaigns. So basically here you decide like I want this campaign to run for like 30 days, and during these 30 days I want to spend this amount of money. I want to spend like 20,000 or 10,000 or probably 100,000. That's you decide that. Or I want every single day, because there are only two ways of deciding how much you're going to spend. So that's where the budget comes in. Now, when we talk about attribution setting, basically this has to do with the conversion period. And this is a time that when you launch a campaign, and this is why I tell people that don't launch a campaign for a day. Like there are people who, because they have heard that Facebook is working, they will launch a campaign for a day, then they will stop it. You know, the Facebook algorithm does not understand your audience yet, because you probably just created the audience, so they don't know how that audience looks like, so they don't understand it yet. So if you run that campaign just once and you stop, then what you're risking is you're running at a risk of not give it enough time to actually learn your audience. So what you encourage you to do is, even if you're split testing, you can split test for like 3 days or maybe a week, but 3 days should be enough. That's around 73 hours, maybe 72 hours to actually tell which campaign is working very well. So after 70, and that's not money wasted. That is, it's basically data, because you split test it to know what message do people like, what image do people like, and that's why we encourage you. I mean, just have a budget for your ads, because it takes money to run a business. So if you decide to do ads, then have a budget for that. Okay, so don't run a campaign for a day, or maybe you've got 5,000, you want to like just crash the entire budget within a day. That's not reasonable. You won't get any data. So instead, you could spend like $5 or maybe $10 in a day, and by the end of the 3 days, you've gotten information about what do people like. And the thing is that once you get the data, now you're not using your feelings or your attachment to your video, but now you're using data to make judgments, and that's where the difference comes in. Okay, so that's why I talk about attribution. So basically, this has to do within a 7-day click setting. Our system will learn from conversions that happen within 7 days and show ads to people most likely to convert within the 7 days. Okay, multiple attribution settings can be selected for reporting. So basically, what we're saying is that you give Facebook time, okay, so that they're able to learn your audience. Okay, they're able to learn your audience, and once they understand your audience, then they can tell that people of this type are the ones who are liking your ad, and then it basically gives you more time and gives your ad an opportunity to do better. Of course, you say after 3 days and you're not seeing results, then you can adjust that, and you can switch off the ad, or you can pick the best winning ads and you can run with that. Okay, so basically the results here, this has to do with the campaign objective that you choose. So basically you decide whether you want to do link clicks, lead generation, engagement, awareness, or app installs, or lead gen, page clicks. There are many objectives when you're setting up the campaign. Okay, but so basically here's where you can see, for example, if you wanted link clicks, or people are going to click the links, or people are going to for example, it was engagement, we talk about impressions. I think there's actually something on impressions, but here you can actually see how many link clicks got people did on your page, or how many leads you got, and all that. So basically here reach means the number of people, okay, the number of accounts, sender accounts that saw your ad at least once. So what this means is that everyone on Facebook and on Instagram is assigned by Facebook an ID. So it's called an account. They have an ID. Okay. So when you talk of reach, basically it means that the people who saw that. Now, of course, reach and impression is a good look. See a good friend. So basically it means that not the total number of people who saw your ad. That's what you call reach. So basically, it probably, you see that it reached like 10, 30,000 people, 100,000 people. So these people don't have to take any actions. Okay, so of course you could see that it reached 100,000 people, but they never took any action. So you need to ask yourself, why is it that they never took any action? And then you can maybe improve your image, improve your copy, and so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to impression, basically, so this is the number of times that your advert were on screen. So it could be someone could have seen the ad twice or thrice or something like that. But what it means is that your ad was seen over and over again. How many times that ad was seen, and then of course, out of that is where you can actually tell if 100,000 people saw it, or maybe 100,000 people saw it. Then we can now move to the next thing, which is cost per result. And let me just move this one, and this is an important one. Okay, cost per result. And this basically means is that the decision that you decide to do, because this has to do with the objective. So for example, you decide that your objective is lead generation. So that has to do with clicks, for example. So you have got a sales funnel whereby your clients click on for them to leave their email and phone number, or maybe there's a Facebook form which they fill. So this is how much it costs, okay, per result for your adverts. Depending on where you are, if you're in the US, probably you need to look at how much is your offer. Okay, so for example, if your offer is like $1,000 thing, it's okay to spend $100 to get one lead. Okay, because the profit margin is still high. Okay, but if your product is, for example, like $27, for example, maybe it's $27, or the price is low and the cost of acquiring clients is high, unless you have a sales funnel that is self-liquidating. And what that means is that as long as leads come through the sales funnel, you've got upsells that cover for the cost of the leads, then you may find that you need to keep your cost low so that you're on a profit projection. Okay, and in some cases, this metric may be estimated and reported by a third-party API, so it depends, right? Because, for example, if you're sending your traffic outside the Facebook platform. So, for example, if you're talking about likes, page likes, how much does it cost? You can tell, for example, if you want to get likes, if it's costing more than probably $1, then maybe it's not worth it. But I have seen results of getting leads for less than $1, and those leads end up being very good. Okay, so, and then at the end here is where you can see how much money you spent with your campaign. Okay, so here you can see from the time the campaign started, because now this is important with your budget. So the campaign maybe started a week ago, then how much money has been spent. But this is predictable, because when you're setting up your ad, you're able to decide how much money you want to spend for this campaign. So but here it just helps you to see how you're progressing and how much money you're spending out of your campaign. Now, what I would say is that plan very well before you launch your campaign, because if you don't plan very well and you launch quickly, you might end up panicking. Okay, and if you panic, trust me, you're likely to make mistakes, and probably you may panic, end up shut down the ad. And guess what? You miss the opportunity of getting the data, and probably, who knows, the campaign was good to perform well. Okay, I'm just trying to check here to see if there's anything else that I was supposed to mention and that I've forgotten. So let me just check here and see. There's probably something else that I should have mentioned and I haven't mentioned. Okay, but what you're saying is that this has to do with planning and making sure that you plan your campaign. You don't just jump and do it. But it's so important. It's so important to make sure that you plan your campaign, so that and how much money you want to spend. like I've said before in these videos, is that Facebook ads is one of the fastest ways to get customers, but I would encourage you have both strategies. If you want to get customers fast, uh, find a way to structure your offer so that it doesn't start making losses. Okay, so you structure it in a way that there is a way that you're going to profit when the leads come through. But just running the ads aimlessly without knowing at what point you make money, trust me, you're going to lose. You're going to lose money. Okay. There's something that I didn't see here. Let me just see that cost per result. I didn't see click through rate. Okay, I have no idea why. I think that's something that I should talk about. Okay, so the click through rate, basically this has got to do with ad effectiveness. So, once people have seen the ad, then they need to click through, because at the end of the day is they have seen the ad and then they need to take the action. So what this means is that once people have seen the ad, then the action they're supposed to take maybe is come to your website. Then the act of them clicking on the ad, going to the website and taking the action they're supposed to do, which is, for example, buying or making a purchase. Okay, so that's what we call the click-through rate. So this basically will tell you about how effective your campaign is and if the campaign is actually delivering. Okay, so a higher click-through rate indicates that your ad is capturing, okay, attention and encouraging action. Okay, so aim for a click-through rate of between 2 to 2% and above, and for some ads it can go the way to around 50%. Okay, but if it's less than 2%, then you're in a lot of trouble. Okay, so basically you may need to change. If it's lesser than that, you may need to consider and make sure that it's you are reaching the right people. So based on the results that you see, I would encourage you to adjust your ad creative. Don't fall in love with your ad creative. Ad creative simply means whether it's an image or a video. Okay, so you want to have some that grabs people's attention. So probably the reason why Facebook is showing you how to many people are clicking through is because the image is not good or the video is not good. So you may need to change that and adjust so that people can actually get to click through your ad. All right, so the other thing that I would not want you to forget is after there's something called ad fatigue. Okay, ad fatigue. So what this means is that, for example, if you've chosen a small audience and you run the ad for a long time, it is possible that the same people are going to keep on seeing your ad. Okay, so it can affect performance, because if the same people keep seeing your ad, then you may find that your engagement will drop and you don't expect to get more leads because the same people are seeing the ad. So what we recommend in this one is refresh your ad creatives, especially when frequency reaches 2 or more. So if people have seen your ad 2 times, then probably you should consider changing either the image or creating a lookalike audience if you're getting good results. And what that means is that you create a audience that is similar to the people who you had created before. Okay, so and broaden your audience so that you can get better results. Then the other thing, finally, I think this is the final thing, that don't assume. I think I mentioned this earlier. Don't assume that the image that you've created or the video that you've created or the copy that you've created is what people are going to like. So what you focus on is making sure that you're testing your audience, testing your creative, testing the video, testing the copy and everything. So create several ad sets, and then once you launch them out there, you're probably going to get better results. Okay, so make sure that you test. Okay, so and don't launch the ad and don't track. That's why, as media buyers, we are there to help you track the ad, and once you understand the budget and we know what you want to achieve at the end of the day, we are there to help with that process to make sure that you get the result that you want. Okay, so in that case, once again, if you need any help setting up your ad or tracking the metrics or getting leads from Facebook or especially Facebook and Instagram, we are the right people to help you with that. So there's probably a link somewhere below this video. You can click on that link. You can book a call with us and we'll see how we can help you. So I really hope this video was helpful. Make sure to follow. Okay, follow us so that you continue seeing more stuff like this, and we are here to provide you value, and I hope that you find this information valuable to you and your business. Don't forget, any questions you can leave them in the comments. Need more specified help, there's a link below this video. You can click on that link and book a call with us, and we will walk you through the entire process. I'll see you in the next one.